Hi everybody, Shannon and Karen here with Wandering Out Yonder. Today we thought we would share with you some of the things that we do for winter van camping. And one of the reasons that we wanted to talk about this with everybody today is we have had quite a few questions from different people on how we stay warm in the van, what we do. So we thought that we would show you and share with you some of the things that we do, clothing, how we've set the van up for this type of camping, so forth and so on. One of the things, again, we've said this in previous videos, Shannon and I did not do a typical van build. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to utilize the van for our adventures, but we didn't really want to get into the paneling and the insulation of the van and all that kind of stuff. Didn't really see a need to do any of that. So we were like, okay, how can we do this comfortably, and do this during different times of the year, winter, summer, spring, and fall. So we're going to share with you what we do over the winter.
Because today it is 17 degrees out.
Right. And that's I think pretty warm for today.
Actually, yeah, it's not bad.
I think when we started out this morning it was about 12.
Yeah, it was cold.
And it was windy, so it was pretty darn cold. So anyhow, guys, stick with us and we're going to show you some of the things that we do. Okay, so one of the first things that we want to talk to you guys about as far as staying warm in the winter months in the van pretty much goes to how we kept warm staying winter camping in our tent, or if you like backcountry camping, the things that we would wear for that. All right, so basically what we have are some really good quality layering, and this is a pair of the Smart Wool leggings. I think these are the 150s, but I have a pair of the 250s as well. So depending on how cold it is. This is a long sleeve Smart Wool top that I wear. I love this one. It's super warm. This is a pair of Smart Wool long socks, and these are the thicker, heavier ones, and these are really warm. And the other thing that Shannon and I decided this year that we wanted to keep our feet warm were some of the down booties, and these are fantastic. So if you can find these anywhere for helping to keep your feet warm, I would strongly suggest getting them. They're great.
Yeah, these particular ones are Enlightened Equipment that we got, but there's all kinds of companies that make them.
Yeah, there's all sorts of places that make them. And then Shannon, it's kind of replicated over here with her stuff. Same thing. She has the down hat, I guess.
Yep.
I'm not sure where you got that from.
Yeah.
Anyway, she has this one. This is an outdoor research one.
Yeah, because my head gets cold.
I personally can't stand that to wear a hat when I go to bed. I either wear like a hoodie or something like that if I'm that cold to put something on my head.
And the only other difference is I wear liners, Smart Wool socks, and the booties because I don't like my feet cold.
So basically, we wear a nice layered underlayers here, and this is what we sleep in. If it is really, really cold and we do not have access to the heater, or the heater is not able to warm up the van the way that we need it to, we also have extra pajamas. So we can even layer on top of these things to stay warm, and that has happened to us. We were camping in
Shenandoah.
Well, that and Hungry Mother State Park.
Yeah.
I think that's the coldest that we've ever camped. It got down to like 16 degrees. And we had been out hiking all day, so we didn't have the heater on in the van to keep the van warm. So when we got back from hiking that day, it was in the 20s, wind blowing. It was a really cold day. We kicked the heater on when we got back, but it just wasn't strong enough to warm up the van as much as we would have liked it to. Van got up to 40 degrees, which we were just ecstatic with because 40 is better than 17. So, hence the extra layering. So another big suggestion that I have for anybody, whether you're backpacking, hiking, camping, anything, these hot hands, these are fantastic. Right now I do have a pair of them on underneath my gloves because it's really cold today. We're in the van doing this because it's a little bit cold. But I wear these when it's really, really cold. And the night that I was just talking to you guys about in Hungry Mother when it got that cold, the van, we got it up to 40 degrees with the heater. what I did is I took the toe warmers and I put them underneath my sock right here, and then I slid my foot down into this booty, and I tell you, you would have never known. I mean, I was perfectly warm. And then I kept on. I have some extra flannel pajamas that I wore over these things that kept me warm. So I can say for an absolute fact, without the heater and with the heater, we have been able to manage to keep nice and toasty and warm in here without any issues at all, just by doing some basic layering, having a few extra little things like this on hand. And the booties are an absolute pleasure to have.
So the first step is definitely the clothing.
Yes, and then these you can find these online with Amazon. I think that's where I got these. Maybe
I think so.
I
Target. Something.
Yeah, I bought like a case of each kind because that's how many that we go through over the winter, because we like to get out when it's cold too. So in order to help us stay warm, I picked these up. This is the hand warmers. These are the toe warmers, and this is just a bigger patch. If you wanted to put it like, you know, help keep your core warm or something, you could use that, but pretty basic. Okay, so now we're going to talk to you guys about what we do when we have electric available. That's if we're going to a campground or something like that. What we have is this little 1,000-watt heater. This is a great little item that we picked up. Really produces a lot of heat, a lot more than you would realize. The other thing I wanted to show you about this little heater is it's footed. I looked everywhere to find something that would raise up off of the floor so it wouldn't be something hot sitting on the floor. So this worked out perfectly for us. And we do keep this on the floor of the van when we're running it. But we have been in situations where it has been so cold, 17 degrees outside, and this little thing, it maintained enough heat for us that we stayed warm. We were able to, with the layering that we showed you previously and with our down quilt, we were fine. No issues at all with getting cold. The other thing that we use is we each have one of these heating pads, and these are fantastic because you can lay those out if you're really cold across your core or wherever you feel like you need it. But usually we run it around the front of us, and that's just enough to, like, you might be kicking your covers off. You'll get so warm with that. But that's really about all that we need. This little heater, depending on, you know, how cold the van is when we get it started. You know, if we pull into a site at 3 or 4 in the afternoon and the van has been warmed up, then it doesn't have to work as hard to keep the van warm. And so it will maintain, even in like 20 and 30 degree weather, it will maintain about 55 to 60 degrees in this van. So we're thrilled with that, considering the fact that we have no real insulation in the van other than the window coverings that we have. So this little heater does a great job, and it's just a 1,000-watt heater. You might be able to go bigger, but this one worked fine for us, so we're happy with it. And the heating pads work out great for us too. The other
Electric
thing
is easier.
Well, yeah, electric is easier. You will stay warmer, but it's not always there. And Shannon and I always consider what happens if we're in an area when we think, you know, we have electric, however it's not working, which that's happened in the past. So
Cooper's Rock.
Yeah.
A thunderstorm knocked out the power, and
for hours and hours. Yeah. So we were like, okay, well, but you know, we have been to campgrounds in the past where they have not said that they've had loss of power, so you can't always count on having that electric. So
I guess that's what we'll talk about next.
Right. So the next thing that we're going to talk to you guys about are the beds that we have, and this is well, let me back up here. The first time Shannon and I took the van out to camp, we thought, gosh, all we need is our backpacking gear. We'll throw our mattresses out on the floor just like we would in a tent, and we'll use our sleeping bags. We'll just sleep on the floor. We'll be fine. But that just about killed us. So a couple of days of having a backache, we were like, that is not going to work for us. We were squished in between the wheel wells. It just did not work out. So anyhow, we came up with another plan that we want to share with everybody. If you have this type of van that you might want to consider. I started doing some research because we had to find something that was going to work for us that would fit inside this van. Fortunately for Shannon and I both, we're both shorter than 6 feet tall. We're about 5'4", 5'5", and I was able to find some cots that would accommodate our height. I had a hard time with it because most cots accommodate up to like 6 feet tall, and that is, that's for a good reason, for a man, basically somebody who's very tall. That was way too much space for us. Anyhow, what I found are these Coleman cots, and that's what we're using now. And here I'm going to show you guys what we did that added a lot of warmth for us as far as the cots are concerned. Again, these are just the Coleman cots, and they originally came with a mattress, which I can't show to you. I've got it tucked inside of here, but it's just a thin mattress.
I think it was an inch
It's
and a
maybe
half.
like about that thick.
Yeah.
You got my fingers in there?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not very thick, and we did camp on that the first few times we went camping in here, and it was okay. We were okay.
It was better than the floor.
Yes, much better than the floor. But we needed something more. So I started doing some research on the memory foam mattresses, and we found this particular one. Shannon, do you remember?
I think it's called Camp Life.
Yes, it is Camp Life.
It's a 3-inch
Yeah, it's a
gel
pretty thick.
infused memory foam mattress,
You can
and
see it's pretty
it is heavenly.
So anyhow, we found these, and I cut them down to size to fit on top of these particular cots. So we have and it's an R7 factor.
I think it's an R7. It's
Yeah.
a very high R value to it.
Right. We have those. We have the original mattress that the Coleman cots come with, and this is a
Thermarest pad.
Thermarest pad that I picked up somewhere. I think maybe at a yard sale. I'm not even sure where I got
I
this
think
at.
so.
So I had 2 of these, and so we've got one on my bed and then one also on Shannon's bed as well. And then we just use a regular fitted sheet. That's all it is. And it kind of tucks around everything. And I have, I made some sheets for the bed, and we just have 2 little blankets. These are like throw size blankets that we have for the beds, and that's all we have on the bed. Now, when it's really, really cold and we need really, really warm, we have our Enlightened Equipment quilts. And these are our 20-degree quilts that we have. And we just throw those over the bed. We tuck the foot box around the bottom of the bed, and
It'll run you out.
yeah. Okay, so we've shown you all of the different layers that we have here. The Thermarest pad, the Coleman pad, and then the memory foam pad. So all of that adds to the warmth of what we've got going on here. But also, because this bed is raised so high, you see how high that is off the ground? That also prevents the cold from coming up underneath your mattress and getting you cold. If you're laying on the ground, of course, if any of you've camped before in the cold, sometimes that the cold will just come up through the ground and freeze you out. These beds are fantastic. That has not happened to us one single time. With all of this insulation that we have going on here, and then it being raised up off the ground, works out perfectly for us here in the van. Okay, and then one other thing that we have done to add some insulation into the van, because we did not do a build of any kind, and we don't want to do a build, is we did purchase some insulated window coverings. So we have these available for us on the back windows. We have one for the windshield up front, and both the passenger and the driver's side windows. So all of the windows do have these thick thermal coverings that we put up whenever we stop, we get them up. So those do add some insulation for us and help us to stay warm over the winter months too. So again, guys, just to recap for you, these are just some of the things that we do over the winter, because we like to get out in the winter time too, to help us stay warm. And again, Shannon and I did not do a typical van build. We don't want to do a typical van build where everything gets insulated and covered up. So we had to come up with other things to keep warm over the winter months. One being our little tiny heater we showed you. That thing's fantastic. The other being the heating pads that we can each use. If we're in an electric site, we're able to use those. We have our Enlightened Equipment quilts that we use to maintain warmth. We use smart wool underlaying, which it doesn't have to be smart wool, but I would say something decent for your layering to wear at night. And the hot hands, using the hot hands to keep us warm when we need them. Those things have all helped us, along with how we have set up our quilt or our bedding system. All of those things have added to the comfort level that we need in order to be able to get out in winter camps. And Shannon and I didn't want to sit at home all winter long and not be able to camp. So
right. I mean, it's not toasty, like house toasty,
no,
but
it's great. I mean, to us, it's fantastic. We can get out and enjoy nature, enjoy being outside rather than being cooped up in the house. I'll take a 50-degree van sleepover out in the wilderness any day, so it's fine with me. Again, just some of the things that we do. We hope that maybe it helps some of you out there and making some decisions on how you might like to enjoy winter camping or being outdoors in the winter. Maybe it will help you. So anyhow, thanks for coming along with us today, guys. We appreciate you wandering out yonder with us, and we'll see you later. Bye. Oh, and P.S. I meant to mention, if you want to learn more about the window coverings that we have on the back windows, the passenger and the driver's side, and the front windshield, the insulated coverings that we have for those areas, we did a video on that about a month or so ago to share that information with you and to let you know where we got those. A couple of people on Etsy that we bought those from, I believe. So if that would be helpful for you, I just want to make sure I mention that.
we also did one testing out the heater. We have some cold van camping ones up too. I'll
that's
put the
true.
links to all those up.
Yep. So anyhow, that was just a little PS for you guys. All right, thanks.